Great. So here we are, coming to the end of the workshop. I want to thank all the participants who have hung in here till the end of the day and all of our speakers and panelists. I've been pretty much gobsmacked at the quality of the presentations and the quality of the participation. I think I can speak for Kathy as well as myself when I say that we've achieved what we wanted to and more. We have achieved our objectives to exchange perspectives on coastal wetlands vulnerability and resilience, how to apply that to resilience-based management and the implications for coastal communities. And now and beyond, and as we look toward our proceedings, we do want to continue to pursue this goal of helping to leverage knowledge and lessons learned from across regions and organizations so that collectively we can standardize, improve, and advance our methods for resilient coastal wetlands and communities. We just had a fantastic interactive discussion in 6 different areas. We had you re-rank the topics. Very interesting. Translating science was at the top both times, but barriers and opportunities, which were at the top at the beginning of the workshop, fell to lower on the list and were replaced by working with stakeholders, which was near the top. So we're going to have fun as a team figuring out, there's could be 2 reasons for this, as was pointed out. It could either be that people changed a bit based on what they heard over the 2 days, that maybe they felt more reassured about being able to overcome barriers, and so we're less concerned. Or it could be that we just had so many new audience members that we got a different sort of collection. We talked about where we stand on achieving resilient coastal wetlands, have a lot of great ideas. We felt that we were not doing as well with political will and overcoming barriers as we are doing with tools, capacity building, and closing technical gaps. So that was interesting. We got a lot of great suggestions from you on how to improve, whether the information that's needed to be successful is available and sufficient. Most people, not too surprising, put themselves in the middle as not sure. It's great to see that we do have some people who feel very confidently yes, and we have some that really don't feel confident. And kind of high on the list of concern was political support and funding, access to science, and the need for like clearinghouses and case studies, needing regional regulation and bureaucracy attention, things like that. Relationships and peer sharing were also mentioned, and public outreach, champions, and behavioral change. Now, when it comes to, how can we standardize, we got some great suggestions, and I think this is going to be especially useful one, I think, for the proceedings, because it sort of bins into 2 different bins the collective opinions about like what things can you sort of standardize in a tool, and when do you have to depart from like a standard framework to something that's very place-based and tailored. And so, and how do we do that? That's of great interest to us for sure. And then, how our different organizations can coordinate better. Lots of great ideas there. And a real recognition of mutual respect that, our regional groups need to be formed more, that we need to try to overcome some of the stovepiping or the like separation between organizations. And a couple plugs for more workshops like this one. Thank you very much. And then finally, thinking about EJ. And really a really vibrant discussion. So thank you. And the recognition that in the Menti, folks kind of consider Native and tribal communities part of the underrepresented category. So we won't really regard the lack of choice of Native tribal to mean something that wasn't something of concern. So, really recognizing needing policies to ensure that we protect low-income folks, identifying and empowering leaders, Indigenous knowledge, things like that. Really, really good work, everybody. and thank you so much. So very briefly, and we can wrap up a few minutes early. How will your feedback be used? As mentioned at the top of the workshop, we are going to be working to produce a workshop proceedings. And it will have things like, it may include, but may not be limited to things such as not only the summaries, lessons learned, notes, of our conversations, but also really trying to draw lessons learned, some of the information we've gathered from you on where we think the state of the science is, where we need to improve. Are there any emerging principles for better standardization? So some of those standardization ideas and ideas for collaboration. So stay tuned. We will, get back to all workshop participants several months out when we are able to turn the proceedings into a publicly available publication. I just want to remind folks that the workshop website is the place to keep an eye on. We plan within about 2 weeks to be able to process all the PowerPoint presentations and recordings, provide them. The speaker bios are there. We are going to invite the speakers and our team certainly to submit links to resources. There were several inquiries throughout the workshop on, where can I get more information on this tool? So we'll keep an eye on that website for updates and additional resources being posted. And actually with that, that is actually the end of my comments, and we're ending a little bit early. I just want to invite Kathy to come on. And remember once again that the open-ended poll to give feedback on the workshop is going to remain open in your Menti view until after 4 o'clock. So thank you in advance for your feedback. Thanks for the little claps. And Kathy, do you have any final comments?
No, I'd just like to thank everyone. Keep on doing that great work that everyone has underway. And thanks again for your participation.